Dear learners, I am Dr. Meenu Bhatnagar from the Center of Russian Studies, Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi. I welcome you all to this course on Basics of Russian Communication Skills Part 2. In this module, you will learn the past tense in Russian. You will learn how to conjugate the verbs in past tense and their use in Russian language. You have already learnt the conjugation of verbs in present tense. Let's have a look at the past tense now. You will recall that the present tense of Russian verbs agree with their subjects in person and number. That is the first person ya and me, second person ty and vy, and third person on, ana, ani. In the past tense, we look at the gender of the subject. You simply need to take the stem of the verb and add the following endings. The ending L for the nouns of masculine gender, the ending la for the nouns of feminine gender, the ending lo for the nouns of neuter gender, and the ending li for the plural form of nouns. Let's try this with the verb chitać. The stem of the verb is obtained by dropping the ending te and soft sign from the infinitive. So for the verb chitać, the stem will be chita because the ending te and soft sign will be removed from this. The masculine form of the past tense will be formed by adding L to the stem chita. So you get the form chital. The feminine form is made by adding the ending la to the stem. You get the form chitala. The neuter form is formed by adding the ending lo to chita. You get the form chitala. For plural form, you add the ending li to the stem and make the form chitali. So the past tense form of the verb chitać would be chital for masculine nouns, chitala for feminine nouns, chitala for neuter, chitali for plural forms. I'll again repeat. For male, for the nouns of masculine gender, you will use the form chital. So ya if it is a boy, if it's a masculine noun, then it will be ya chital. Ti if it is a masculine noun, then it will be ti chital, and on chital. So ya chital would be I read or I was reading. Ti chital would be you read or you were reading. On chital would be he read or he was reading. Similarly, for the nouns of feminine gender, you will use the form chitala. If it is ya, who is a feminine noun, ya chitala. I read or I was reading. Ti chitala. You read or you were reading. Ana chitala. She read or she was reading. So ya chital and ya chitala. If the noun is male, then it will be ya chital. If the noun is feminine gender, it will be ya chitala. Ti chital if the noun is of masculine gender, and ti chitala for the noun of feminine gender. On chital, ana chitala. For plural forms, we use the pronouns mui, vui, ani. So mui chitali, vui chitali, and ani chitali. Mui chitali would mean we read or we are reading, we were reading. Mui chitali means we read or we were reading. Vui chitali would mean you read or you were reading. Ani chitali would mean they read or they were reading. So mui chitali, vui chitali, ani chitali are the past tense form for the verb chitaj in the plural. Let us repeat again. Ya chital, ya chitala. Ti chital, ti chitala. On chital, ana chitala. Mui chitali, vui chitali, ani chitali. Let's now make the past tense form of some other verbs. Let us make the past tense form of the verb GLH. GLH means to do. When you take the verb GLH, the infinitive form of the verb GLH, you remove the last two letters, there and soft sign, you get the stem of the verb. To this stem, you add the endings L, La, Lo, Li, and you make the past tense form of the verb. Let us now make it Ya, J, Lal. Jela plus the ending L. Ya, Jelal. For feminine nouns, it will be Ya, Jelala. Ya, Jelala. For plural forms, it will be Jelali. You add the ending li to the stem Jela. So, the forms will be Ya, Jelal or Ya, Jelala. Ti, Jelal, Ti, Jelala. On Jelal, Ana Jelala. It means I did or I was doing. You did or you were doing. He did, he was doing. Ana Jelala would be she did or she was doing. For plural forms, it is me Jelali, we did or we were doing. We Jelali, you did or you were doing. Ani Jelali, they did or they were doing. We'll repeat. Ya Jelal, Ya Jelala. Ti Jelal, Ti Jelala. On Jelal, Ana Jelala. Mui Jelali, Vui Jelali, Ani Jelali. Let us take one more verb, slushach. Slushach means to listen. The stem of the verb is formed by dropping the last two letters, the and soft sign. The remaining part is called the stem, to which you add the endings L, La, Lo, Li. So let us make the past tense form of the verb slushach. Ya slusha, ya slushal. For masculine form in ti, ya ti slushal. On slushal. If the noun is of feminine gender, then you add the ending la to the stem. Ya slushala. Ti slushala. Ana slushala. For plural forms, we add the ending li to the stem. Mui slushali, vui slushali, ani slushali. So, we'll repeat again. Slushach, the past tense form of the verb slushach would be ya slushal, ya slushala. It means I listened, I was listening. Ti slushal, ti slushala. It means you listened or you were listening. On slushal, he listened or he was listening. Ana slushala, she listened or she was listening. Mui slushali, we were listening. Vui slushali, you were listening. Ani slushali, they were listening. The next verb that we will make the past tense form of is rabotaj. Rabotaj meaning to work. Rabotaj means to work. The stem of the verb rabotaj can be formed in the similar manner by dropping the ending te and soft sign. So you get the stem rabota. To this stem you add the endings l, la, lo, li and form the past tense form of the verb. Let us now try to make the past tense form. Rabotal. For feminine nouns it will be rabotala. For neuter nouns it will be rabotala, and for plural it will be rabotali. Let us use with the pronouns. Ya rabotal, ya rabotala. It means I worked or I was working. Ti rabotal, ti rabotala. It means you were working or you worked. On rabotal, ana rabotala. On rabotal is he was working or he worked. Ana rabotala, she worked or she was working. Mi rabotali, we were working or we worked. Vi rabotali, you were working. Ani rabotali, it means they were working. Let us again revise it. Ya rabotal, ti rabotal, on rabotal, mi rabotali, vi rabotali, ani rabotali. For the nouns of feminine gender, you can use the form ya rabotala, ti rabotala, ana rabotala, mi rabotali, vi rabotali, ani rabotali. Let us conjugate the verb igraj in the past tense. Igraj. Igraj means to play. The stem of the verb after dropping the last two letters is igra. To this stem we will add the endings l, la, lo, li to make the past tense forms. Let us now make the form. For masculine nouns it will be igral. For feminine noun it will be igrala. For plural forms it will be igrali. Let us use the forms with the pronouns. Ya igral, it means I played or I was playing. Ti igral, it means you played or you were playing. On igral, it means he played or he was playing. Mi igrali, it means we played or we were playing. Vi igrali, that means you played or you were playing. Ani igrali, it means they were playing or they played. These are the masculine forms and plural forms. Let us repeat it with the feminine forms. Ya igrala, I played or I was playing. Ti igrala, you played or you were playing. On ana igrala, she played or she was playing. Mi igrali, we played or we were playing. Vi igrali, you played or you were playing. Ani igrali, they were playing or they played. Let us conjugate some more verbs in past tense. We can start with the verb addikhaj. Addikhaj means to take rest. Addikhaj, when you remove the last two letters, the stem will be addikha, and to the stem you add the ending l, la, lo, li and form the past tense forms. So the past tense form would be addikhal, addikhala, addikhali. Ya ti on addikhal, ya ti ana addikhala, मी, we आणि adhi khali. Let us now conjugate the next verb gulyaj in the past tense. Gulyaj, the stem would be gulya. To this stem we will add those appropriate endings and form the past tense forms. Gulyal, yati on gulyal, yati ana gulyala, mi, vi ani gulyali. Atvichaj. Atvichaj means to answer. Atvichaj, the stem would be atvicha. To this stem you add the ending and make the past tense forms. Atvichal, atvichala, atvichali. So ya ti on atvichal, ya ti ana atvichala, mi, vi ani atvichali. Let us take another verb. Sprashivaj. Sprashivaj means to ask. Sprashivaj, the past tense form will be sprashival, sprashivala, sprashivali. Ya ti on sprashival, ya ti ana sprashivala, mi, vi ani sprashivali. Izuchaj. The next verb is izuchaj, which means to study. Izuchal, izuchala, izuchali. Ya ti on izuchal, ya ti ana izuchala, and mi, vi ani izuchali. Zaftrakaj. Zaftrakaj means to have breakfast. The past tense form would be zaftrakal, zaftrakala, zaftrakali. For nouns of masculine gender, yati on zaftrakal. For the nouns of feminine gender, yati ana zaftrakala. For plural forms, it is mi, vi ani zaftrakali. The next verb is znaj. Znaj means to know. Znaj, for the form for masculine gender is znal, for feminine gender znala, for plural forms znali. Yati on znal, yati ana znala, and mi, vi ani znali. Let us conjugate the verb pisaj in the past tense. Pisaj, it means to write. The past tense form of the verb pisaj would be, for masculine form it will be pisal, for feminine it will be pisala, for plural it will be pisali. So yati on pisal, mi, yati ana pisala, mi, vi ani pisali. Let us conjugate the next verb in past tense, which is smatryej. Smatryej means to watch, to look at. Smatryej, the stem would be smatrye. To this we'll add the appropriate endings and make the past tense form. So for masculine gender, the form would be smatryel. For feminine gender, the form is smatryela. For plural form, it will be smatryeli. Yati on smatryel, yati ana smatryela, mi, vi ani smatryeli. The next verb is gavarich. Gavarich means to speak. The past tense form for masculine gender would be gavaril. For feminine gender is gavarila. For plural form, gavarili. So yati on gavaril, yati ana gavarila, mi, vi ani gavarili. You must have noticed that we have not formed the neuter gender forms of these verbs. That is because that the neuter forms will not be used for these verbs. So wherever they will be used, we will certainly make those forms. Now, when you use these past tense forms, very often the adverbs that are used with these verbs could be ranshe, which means earlier, ranshe, it means earlier, vchera, that means yesterday, vchera večeram, it means yesterday evening. You may also find sentences with the use of v prošlom gadu, which means in the last year or last year, v prošlom gadu. You can also see sentences with adverbs like pozavčera, which means day before yesterday. We will repeat it. Ranshe, it means earlier. Pozavčera, it means day before yesterday. Včera, it means yesterday. Včera večeram, it means yesterday evening. V prošlom gadu, it means last year. We will repeat. Ranshe, pozavčera, včera, včera večeram, v prošlom gadu. Ranshe means earlier. Pozavčera means day before yesterday. Včera means yesterday. Včera večeram means yesterday evening. V prošlom gadu means last year. You will very often see the use of these adverbs in various sentences using past tense. Let us now read some dialogues with the use of past tense. The first dialogue is: Što studenti делали на уроке сегодня? Studenti is students. Делали is the past tense form of the verb делать. На уроке, in the class. Сегодня means today. So the verb делали is conjugated in plural form because of the noun or the subject which is in the plural form. Studenti, они. So, что студенты делали на уроке сегодня? The question in translation in English is: what did the students do in the class today? The answer is: сегодня они писали сочинение. Мой любимый писатель. Сегодня means today. Они, they. Писали, they wrote. The verb is писать, which is conjugated in the past tense form according to the pronoun они. The subject is они. Сочинение is essay. Мой любимый писатель. The topic of the essay is my favorite writer. So, сегодня они писали сочинение мой любимый писатель. You can also say сегодня студенты писали сочинение мой любимый писатель. The next dialogue is: где работал твой брат раньше? Где, where. Работал is the past tense form of the verb работать, which means to work. Твой брат, your brother, раньше, earlier. So the sentence in English would be: where did your brother work earlier? So работал is in the masculine form because твой брат, which is masculine. The answer would be: раньше мой брат работал в банке. Раньше, earlier. Мой брат, my brother, работал, which is the past tense form according to the noun of masculine gender. Brat is a noun of masculine gender, that is why работал. В банке is in the bank. Answering the question, где. So, где работал твой брат раньше? Where did your brother work earlier? Раньше мой брат работал в банке. Earlier, my brother worked in a bank. The next dialogue is: Света, что ты делала вчера вечером? Света is a name of a girl. Shtoti jelala. The verb used here is jelaj. Shtoti jelala. Here ti is used in reference to the girl, Sweta. Shtoti jelala včera večeram. What did you do yesterday evening? In the answer, Sweta says, včera večeram ja smatrela film po televizoru. Ya here is used in reference to Sweta, and that is why the verb is conjugated in feminine form. Včera večeram ja smatrela film po televizoru. Yesterday evening I watched a film on television. The next dialogue is Вы сегодня завтракали? Вы сегодня завтракали? The verb is завтракать, which means to have breakfast. So вы is the plural pronoun, plural. Вы сегодня завтракали? Here the verb is завтракать, which means to have breakfast. The form of the verb завтракали is plural because of the pronoun вы. Вы сегодня завтракали? It means, have you had your breakfast today? Нет. Я опаздывал на урок и поэтому не завтракал. Here there are two verbs being used, опаздывать and завтракать. Опаздывать means to get late, which is also used here in past tense. It means нет, я опаздывал на урок. It means no, I was getting late for the class и поэтому, and that is why не завтракал. I did not have my breakfast. So нет, я опаздывал на урок и поэтому не завтракал would mean no, I was getting late for the class and therefore I did not have breakfast. The next dialogue is Вчера Иван. The next dialogue is Вчера Иван играл в badminton. The verb used is Igraj in past tense in masculine form because of the noun Ivan. Ivan is a masculine. It's a name of a boy. So, вчера Иван играл в badminton. Играть в badminton means to play badminton. So, did Ivan play badminton yesterday? The answer, нет. Он весь день сидел дома и читал журналы. It means no, the whole day he sat at home and read the journals. Нет, он весь день сидел дома. The verb is сидеть, which means to sit. Дома, at home. Сидеть is conjugated in past tense masculine form because Ivan, on сидел дома. И читал from the verb читать in masculine form. И читал журналы. So нет, он весь день сидел дома и читал журналы. Let us solve another exercise with the use of past tense. It is fill in the blanks with past tense form of the verb given in the bracket. The first sentence, you can see the verb given in the bracket is делать, which means to do. You will use the past tense form of this verb and fill in the blanks. The past tense form that you will be filling in will be according to the subject pronoun мы, which will be мы делали. Мы делали домашнее задание. Домашнее задание means homework. So we did the homework. Мы делали домашнее задание. The second sentence is позавчера они фильм по телевизору. The verb in the bracket is смотреть. Смотреть means to watch. the past tense form will be formed according to the subject of the sentence, which is ani. So again you will be using the plural form of the verb smatriet, smatrieli. So pazavchera ani smatrieli film pe televizoru. The next sentence is včera mi interesni tekst na uroke. The verb that you need to use is čitać, which means to read, which will be conjugated in past tense according to the subject or according to the pronoun that is used here, which is mi. Again the plural form will be used. Včera mi čitali interesni tekst na uroke. The next sentence is Ranše Maya Simya v Hyderabade. The verb in the bracket is žít, which means to live. Žít means to live. To use this in past tense according to the word Simya. Simya means family and it belongs to the feminine gender. So the verb žít will be conjugated in past tense according to the noun of the feminine gender. So the correct word would be Ranše Maya Simya žila v Hyderabade. The last sentence. Včera večeram druzya na stadione. In place of the blank, you will use the form of the verb Igraj, which means to play. Now you will change the verb Igraj according to the subject with which it is going to be combined. The subject here is druzya, which is in the plural form, druzya, ani. So the form of the verb that you will be using will be the plural form, igrali. So the sentence will be včera večeram druzya igrali na stadione. Dear learners, in this module you have learnt about the conjugation of the Russian verb in past tense and how it is used. Please revise and write the conjugation of the verbs that you have just learnt several times so that you can know them by heart. I wish you success. Udachi vam. Spasiba.